Well, I just got rejected by a guy, and this is the second time it's happened this year.
Most men find most women to be at least somewhat attractive. In contrast, women on average view 80% of men as below average in attractiveness. Another study found that on the dating app Tinder, men liked more than 60% of the female profiles they viewed, while women liked only 4.5% of male profiles. I didn't realize that 80% of men as below average.
Please, for the love of God, do not give the ugly guys a chance.
Why are you guys out here dating ugly men?
Stop dating ugly men.
We as women need to stop giving ugly men a chance.
If you ever think that I'm going out with you and then you pull out Apple Pay to pay for our bill, to tap your card, you're over it. You're dumb. You're crazy. This is the last time you will ever see from me or hear from me.
Have you ever had a boyfriend or been in a relationship? It's fucking awful. I'd literally rather than be involved with a man.
Reason 1,000,001 why the dating apps fucking suck is the men on there are ass fucking ugly.
Men are now at a point to where they're walking away and they don't mind being alone. Y'all have messed it up. Women, a lot of us have messed it up. And like I said, even surprisingly to me, like, I was noticing and seeing so many men, like, I desire family. I desire commitment. I desire marriage. I desire to have a woman. I want to provide for a woman, take care of a family. Like, men have been wanting that. But now you're starting to see more and more men become more and more comfortable with the idea of not having any of that, because men are valuing and desiring their peace.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to.
What if you found like the perfect guy, but he's not the most attractive? I would stay.
What? You really don't want to be in a relationship with this type of person, specifically because, once again, this is going to come up at some point in time. It's just not going to disappear. And you're going to have to face it head on. Essentially, what did I do? What happened? I just thought I was doing this, or I didn't know that I was doing that. I didn't think as though I was. And you tell them, and then they don't listen to you, and they go and do it again. And then when you tell them, hey, man, you said you weren't sure what you was doing. I'm telling you right now, this is what you're doing. Oh, well, I was only doing it. I wasn't doing it out of trying to hurt you, but I just feel like, stop doing it. I'm telling you right now, it don't matter whether you want to be malicious about it or not, stop doing it. They're not going to listen. Well, I just feel like it's my right to be able to. Exactly. You feel. So you're not going to stop doing it at all. Basically, you're not going to listen to me. And that's what I hear. Well, what happened to all the guys? How come the guys not? Why don't they do this? Because y'all keep on telling men one thing and then expecting a man to do the other. I didn't know that. Clueless, acting like nothing was said. Absolutely not.
I need a man. I need a man because I'm tired of doing a man's job. I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
If we go on a first date, don't take me to some low-class place like Applebee's. Are you kidding me?
Making these good men not want to be good men. I don't need no man. I can do it all by myself. Can you? Can you?
God, men in my comments, you should try to date a regular guy. Why would I do that?
This man wanted to take me on a date, so I said no, and he was like, what can I do? And I said, you can go ahead and get my nails booked and my spa, and so he did.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
My whole life.
So I'm giving up on this female generation. I got a girl's number last night. I text her today like a fucking gentleman. Today was nice to meet you. She said, which one are you? Weird thing to fucking say. I told him the one that got your number outside of the bar last night. She said, I gave my number to about 10 dudes.
As a professional matchmaker, I see so many great women get declined by men for really silly reasons. So men, what are the main reasons why you would decline meeting a woman? Post your reasons in the comments attached, and I want to see if my theories are correct behind this.
I just turned 33, and I will say, I think it's this year that it's really hit me that I do not want the title of a strong, independent Black woman.
I just need to know from a men's perspective, are y'all waiting on girls to talk to you first? Like, are you waiting on a girl to ask you on a date first? Because that's crazy to me. Like, when you're out in public and you're making eyes with a girl and you're like making it known that you're attracted to her, but you're not gonna say something, how are you not gonna say something?
Hey, excuse me? I thought like you were pretty and I was wondering if I can get like your number or something.
Fuck no.
Yeah. Hey, you dropped something there. This.
No thanks.
Hey, excuse me? I ain't gonna lie, you look my good. What's your name?
Get the fuck out of my face.
Damn, what's your problem? Hey, excuse me? I ain't gonna lie, I thought you were pretty. I was wondering if I could get your number.
I'm sorry.
Hey, excuse me? I thought you were pretty and I was wondering Hey, excuse me? I thought you were like pretty. I was wondering if I can get like your Instagram or something.
No, I have a boyfriend.
Excuse me? You look really cute. I was wondering if I can get your number.
No.
Hey, excuse me? You look really pretty. I was wondering if I can get your number.
No, I don't have a number. Sorry. Bye.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
I always tell people I'm crazy, and they're like, oh my god, me too, I'm so crazy. I'm like, no, like, I'm not silly, goofy crazy. I'm like batshit delusional, borderline need an insane asylum crazy.
I don't hang out with ugly people. I just don't.
I'm convinced at 24 years of living, the broker the man, the stronger the stroke game is. Fuck it, baby. Go get your Xbox and your book bag. Move in, because I need that good pipe with your little broke ass. It's the fucking toxicity. I swear to God, it's the toxicity.
All the girls that are being 20 right now in absolute in the club, whatever not, in 10 years are going to be 30, trying to settle down and realize that all the good guys are taken. They're going to complain that they were ran through their whole life, but while they were partying for the past 10 years, all the good girls got cuffed by the good guys. And so now when they look at all the men that are options, they're going to be competing with the now 20-year-old good girls and be stuck. Why? Because all the good guys are gone. You missed your chance.
And it's crazy because she's trying to let them in on game, but they're not going to listen. Their fun is too important. Their lifestyle and flashy toys and stuff like that is too important to them.
I'm a little bit of a fuckboy, and that means that I hook up with a lot of people. And right now I'm hooking up with a lot of people on the football team, and that means they all know each other. Which I didn't really realize until a couple days ago when I hooked up with this guy who had football pictures in his bio, but he wasn't on the roster. And I know that because I looked. And he knows this other guy who I've been hooking up with kind of regularly who's also on the football team. Like, they're homies. Like, should we all hang out?
Popular opinion, which is probably going to make me sound very misogynistic, but I think that women's rights went too fucking far. You know, we carried this whole movement of, yeah, women, and I love it. You know, I'm a woman too, I love it, great. But here's the thing, I don't want to be moving mattresses up 4 flights of stairs. I don't want to put up fucking shelves. I get it, I got women's rights, I got voting privileges, but I don't have testosterone. And I don't want to have to do that bullshit. So let's put that movement back a little bit. Let's go back a few years, please. Maybe 50.
I don't know, y'all. I just don't understand how straight men be fucking up so badly in these relationships. Because if a bad bitch asks me to do something for her, I'm gonna do it with the quickness. Like, you don't have to ask me twice. This is your world. I just reside in it. Like, I'm on my knees for you. No! God, please! No! Like, why is that so hard why is that so hard for men to comprehend? Like, I'm really confused.
I really didn't want to accept that I was probably gonna have to end up with a medium ugly guy if I actually wanted to be treated well. But, you know, starting to realize that the good looking guys usually come with a lot of fucking problems.
And you know, when they say stuff like this, you know that they don't own a mirror. You know that they continue to tell us the stuff that they do and, you know, how they maintain themselves. And I don't think that they look in a mirror and really like download what it is that they look like. I mean, we can sit up here and talk about positive affirmations, but, you know, maybe some of those affirmations are too positive. Maybe those affirmations, maybe throw a little negative affirmation in there. Maybe you throw in there a little balanced affirmation. You know, I'm cute. I'm not the best looking, but I'm cute, and that's okay. as a balanced perspective of yourself. I'm not Beyonce or one of these Hollywood actresses that actually look good, but, you know, I'm somebody, you know, just to keep that pride where it needs to be.
Women who get the most hate from other women are women who are in relationships and marriages. I am convinced that women hate men so much to where they will completely demean and pick apart a woman that absolutely loves her. You will be called pick-me's, you will be called stupid, you will be called everything in the world just because a single woman hates men so bad. Let's not even talk about the vile things that they will say about your spouse, right? And please keep in mind, all this is just coming from their own hatred and just simply because they hate men. They hate men so much. They will literally bully you out of your relationship. They will say the worst things possible to make you think that your man doesn't love you. Your man doesn't care about you. You need to go. You know, he's treating you wrong. He's cheating on you. They will say everything in the world, right? Look at the Halle Bailey and DDG situation. When she was with him, y'all completely picked that woman apart. Y'all completely said the worst vile things about her, all because she was with him. But then the moment the relationship ended, those same women that spoke vile about her are those same women that praised her. Y'all praised her after she left. And y'all do that to a lot of women. I can name a lot of women that on this internet that I have seen, they get bullied because they are with a man. Y'all are disgusting. And it's always the same single bitter women. Always the same women. Y'all literally regurgitate the same exact thing. So anyways, I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm going to just say this. Any woman that's in a relationship and absolutely loves her man, loves her husband, whatever the case may be, don't let these bitter women, whether it's in real life or on the internet, bully you from leaving your man. That is your man. That is your relationship. You choose and you do whatever you see fit. Because those same women that's bitter and talking crap about you, 4 or 5 time baby mamas, they got so much stuff to say. I digress. But anyways, single women keep women single, and women will literally bully you because you are happy, healthy, thriving in a relationship, all because they absolutely hate men.
Am I the asshole for being truthful and admitting that I find my wife unattractive after her surgery?
Yikes. Probably.
My wife had plastic surgery recently. We had discussed it, and I was against it. It was not my decision, and ultimately, I had no say. She looks weird now. She had the fat sucked out of her face, lip fillers, a neck lift, other stuff I don't really get. She gives me uncanny valley vibes now. It freaks me out. She is fully healed now, and she wants us to go back to normal, like me initiating sex. I have done so, but not as much as I used to, and when I do, I try and make sure there is very little light. You can't eat because we're missing your reactions. It's been a few months and I kind of dread having to look at her. Obviously, she has noticed.
Oh no.
She has been bugging me to tell her what's up. I've tried telling her I'm just tired from work or that I'm run down. Really anything except the truth. She broke down and asked me if I was having an affair, and I said I wasn't. She asked to look at my phone. I unlocked it for her and handed it over. I wasn't worried about her finding anything because there's nothing to find. She spent an hour looking through it and found nothing. She asked me to explain why I changed. I tried explaining that I just wasn't that interested right now. Nothing I said was good enough for her, but she kept digging. I finally told the truth. I wasn't harsh or brutally honest. I just told her that her new face wasn't something I found attractive and that I was turned off. She asked if that's why I turn all of the lights off now, and I said yes. She started crying and said that she needed time alone. She went to stay with her sister. I have been called every name in the book since this happened. Her sister said I'm a piece of shit for insulting my wife's looks. Her friends all think I'm the asshole. I tried not to say anything. I can't force myself to find her attractive. I still love her, but her face is just weird now. She looks like the blue alien from The Fifth Element. Am I the asshole?
Choice, but also choices have consequences. Exactly. Number one. Number two, if you're in a relationship, not just a relationship, but if you are married, then that my body, my choice kind of goes out the window. That doesn't mean that that person can control every facet of your life, but there's definitely things that a man can't do or should not do unless he says, hey, babe, what do you think about this? And vice versa. For some reason, with modern women, they only think it goes one way, and they should be able to do whatever they want, even though a man is saying, I don't think I would appreciate that. So they go ahead and do it, and a man doesn't like it, and then they're upset about it. But a man has to report in, hey, I'm about to do this. What do you think? You did it, and now he doesn't like it. So no, you were the idiot.
One thing I wish guys did more was eat, And the reason why is, because I feel like a lot of guys just do it because they want to have smecks immediately after a couple minutes of doing it. And it's just I don't know. I want to, just have a time where I'm just getting ate up, where the guy's not expecting to immediately, have smecks. I just want to get ate up, but all these guys are only doing it because they want to have smecks.
I'd rather work with men than women. Now, hear me out. I know y'all oh, no, I'm out of here. Listen to my theory. Have you ever had a female manager that was nice to you? I'll wait. No, exactly. I have never had a female manager that was nice to me. I've never had a work environment full of women and it was no drama. I love working with men. They make the workplace drama free. Let's just say that. They make the workplace drama free. They have a very great sense of humor at work. And men don't bring their home drama to work. Women, we bring our drama from home to work. We do. I did. Everybody, every woman will. Any type of stress they got going on in their personal life, anybody pisses off at work, they could get it.
So I was very interested in the science behind why men are attracted to big fat asses.
This is what I like to refer to as pop biology and pop psychology. I initially wasn't going to respond to it, but it's so unbelievably inaccurate. It's drawing generalizations from inconsistent data, and it has nearly 200,000 likes, so let's correct it. So there were many mistakes in this video, and it's overstating the role of fatness in fetal development and health and things of that nature. There are more well-substantiated theories as to why men prefer these things, such as resource availability, in comparison to, oh, it's good for reproduction, because this is actually a very, very poor indicator. It's one of the poorest indicators, actually. But the reason why people try to say that a big chest and a big bum is good for reproduction, especially men, is because they're trying to essentialize their gooner tendencies. They're trying to grasp at straws, and let's be real, no man actually cares about reproduction. He doesn't care about your hormonal health. He doesn't care about fetal health. All he's thinking about is the recoil. And this is why it pisses me off, because if you like big bums, just say you like big bums. Don't try to use bioessentialism to substantiate that and make it the baseline, because that's not the case. Stronger indicators of fetal health or reproductive health are going to be things like cardiometabolic health or nutrient intake. Having a bigger bum doesn't necessarily make it the case that your child is going to have better cognitive health. That's dependent on what you consume. And sure, she was correct when it comes to waist to hip ratio. Men do prefer this. There are studies showing this. I'll link some things on the screen here. But what these studies show us is that men actually prefer shape over size. That's why some portion of men might like women who are models and they are skinnier and they have a smaller butt, but they have shape to it. Same thing can apply on the other end of the spectrum. The study I'm showing on the screen right here shows a before and after of surgery. The before depicting a woman with more fat and the after depicting a woman with less fat but better shape, or a better waist to hip ratio. And what we see is that the men preferred the after, not the before, in spite of the fact that the before had more fat. Additionally, prehistoric men didn't look at fatness as an indicator of reproductive health. They looked at resource availability. So for example, within anthropology, a common trend that we observe is that when resources are more scarce, men tend to prefer women who are heavier. In comparison to when resources are sufficient and not scarce, men tend to prefer women who are fitter. One example of this is the Green Sahara pastoralists. So this was a hunter-gatherer group of northern Africa. Sahara actually used to be green green, it wasn't always a desert. However, when desertification occurred, that is when we start to see cave drawings of heavier women. There are plenty of other studies that show this as well, but I bring this point up to show that it's based on environment more than it is some kind of bioessentialist imperative. And there are further caveats that influence sexual preference, like economic status or socialization. For example, in ancient Europe, the wealthy class was fatter and the working class was thinner. Therefore, they associated fatness with wealth and something to be idealized. In contemporary America, the wealthy class is thinner and fitter, the working class is heavier. Therefore, in contemporary America, thinner and fitter is the ideal. Sexuality as a whole is an interplay of factors. It's not going to be purely biological. It's a really disingenuous overgeneralization, and it shows me you didn't do your research. You're saying that men prefer fat butts because it indicates reproductive health. And just to put this into perspective for you, some African tribes have a congenital disease because of men artificially selecting for big bums. The human form is variable and it doesn't look the same for everyone. If you like big bums, say you like big bums. Don't try to use bioessentialism to justify it. Because if you genuinely cared about reproductive health and fetal development, then you would look at far more important variables.
So I like this guy's response here. He said, you're both correct and incorrect, actually. Men consider a wide variety of things when considering a potential mate. I don't understand why you're saying she's entirely wrong when part of what makes men attracted to these things are indeed potentially the gluteal-femoral fatty acid deposits, which are extremely important for fetal and infant brain development. This is one example. At the same time, men do also view larger women as more attractive in times of poverty or strife, potentially due to them being more likely to survive and take care of their children if food is scarce. The thing is, none of these things are 100% definitive, and hand-waving men's preferences as basically lustful tendencies says that you're not really engaging in the topic honestly. And that's really what it is. If a man likes something, it's probably going to be lustful. If a man says, I really like this, I really appreciate this on a woman, he's probably sexualizing. Anytime that a man has a preference, it's probably because he's lusting after the woman he doesn't really like her.
I was on a panel, and the way I feel like they came for me when I said my love is logical and not emotional, baby, just hear me out. Wednesday, I was ready to slap them dreads. Friday, I was ready to massage that scalp. Saturday, I was ready to throw every single dish up in that kitchen at you. Sunday, I was ready to put food on them dishes and feed you. I'm not going to put my trust in something that's unreliable, inconsistent, and unstable. My emotions. No, I'm going to use my logic. What do I know? Reality, okay? Because you could say something to me that can make me feel like you don't love me, you don't care about me, and you're disrespectful. But is there food in my house? Do I have gas in my car? Did you check on me? Did you respect me enough to have a conversation with me so we could try to work through it? Even though I don't like what you're saying, you're still taking the time out to even talk to me about it, okay? Logic. What do you know? What do you see? What is tangible? What's consistent? What makes sense? Baby, I could feel like I want to make this money decision on buying something that I probably shouldn't. And you're going to tell me, no, this isn't what's good for you. This is what you should buy instead because this is going to help you in the long run. You're going to push me to be better. In that moment, I feel like I don't like you. You're always going against what I want. Every single time I want to do something, you always get in my way. Emotions. Use your logic. This person is trying to help you be better. This person is trying to do something for you that makes sense, push you for more. If you go based off of what you know, what you can see, what makes sense, then there's loyalty in that. There's no loyalty in your emotions. So no, my love is not emotional. It's nice when I like you, but there's also sometimes when I don't like you. I'm not going to trust that, though, to determine if I love you. My love is logical. What do I know?
I have come to realize that the more a woman knows a man, the more she loves him. And the more that a man knows a woman, the less he loves her. I don't know if that's already a saying, but I feel like it's something that a lot of women would be able to relate to. I was thinking about it the other day, and any situation I've ever been with a man, whether it's a situationship or a relationship or just a crush, I just feel like I'm an exciting thrill for them in the early stages. And meanwhile, I'm still trying to figure out if I even like them. And then no matter what, the more I get to know them, the more I come to love them, because I feel like that's human nature. And then over time, as they get to know me, I genuinely see the effort that they put in dwindle. It's like I lose 10 points every time I tell them a secret. I once went on a couple dates with a guy, and within 2 weeks of meeting each other, he told me that he loved me, and I was freaked the fuck out. But I know myself, and I know the more I get to know somebody, the more I love them. So I decided to give him a chance, and we ended up dating for 4 years. And then at the end of those 4 years, we split up up because he couldn't figure out if he loved me enough to be with me. You almost feel objectified, like, oh, I am a fun little adventure in the beginning. And I feel like no matter what, when I talk to my friends, all of us are just trying to figure out if we even are into a man. We always give them a chance, and we always love them more the more we get to know them. And then the adventure for them and the thrill of it wears off, and it's like an endless loop. It's really easy to think, what is there about me that you are getting to know that isn't worth staying for? I don't really have any advice or a conclusion for this video, but I hope that if you relate, that you know you're not alone and that these men are trifling. So peace be with you, and not with the boys.
By love, do you mean telling him how he should live his life or the things that he should do? Or do you actually like, there's one thing to say, well, I want to help you and provide constructive criticism, but it seems like the constructive criticism is every day, every minute, every hour. It's never ending. I don't come home and bother you all the time. I don't come home and tell you you forgot to do this or you didn't do that right. But of course, you're going to do it because you love me. You're saying all of these things and being negative because you love me. You're coming home every day after you've spent all day with me on the phone and through text and sending me long, drawn-out voice notes about how your day is going terrible. And then when you get home, because you've dumped all of it on me, you're happy and excited. But I'm in a terrible state of mind because you've been trauma dumping and dumping on me emotionally all day. But I feel like I love you so much that I can just tell you all these things. You don't necessarily have to keep some things. You don't necessarily have to keep things to yourself. But at what point do we stop being so negative all the time? At what point is enough enough? At what point does a man get to keep some of his happiness? Well, you're my rock. You're the one that I run to. Got it. But once again, every single day there's something to complain about. Every single day you're not happy about something. That wears on anybody if they have to hear it over and over again. And the little passive aggressive things that you guys do in a relationship. All of a sudden, he just stopped loving me one day. I don't know. Maybe it's because over 4 years, you just kept on doing things that were underhanded. And you didn't think it was, but it was. And he felt disrespected. Y'all probably had a conversation about it and you didn't hear him. But you loved him so much. You loved him so much that you kept on ignoring exactly what he said. But of course, once again, it's the man's fault. They're incapable of loving, and you know what else is new?
I gave you my heart, and the very next day, you tore it apart. Is that how it goes? Is that how it goes? Something like that. Well, let's get
I'm not into the happy, laughy stuff. Ain't shit funny.
Imagine going to work and being in positive spirits before you take care of somebody, and somebody over in the corner somewhere hating that you're laughing. These modern women are miserable in their own lives. Somebody in the comments said, girl, what the F is your issue? You're gonna wonder how you get fired. How did they know it was me? Oh, man. Somebody said, mind you, her literal job is to care. Oh, that's so true. That's so true. They make everybody else's existence miserable.
Strong women don't intimidate real men, they just expose the ones who are pretending. And what I mean by that is boys cannot handle a strong woman who knows her worth and knows what she wants. The shift of boy to man involves so much accountability. The idea of understanding that he is responsible for providing and providing value to a woman. And the fact of the matter is that a strong woman knows what she can provide for herself. She is not going to settle for less than she deserves. So that being said, said she will not entertain someone who is not measuring up to those standards that she has for herself, because why would she? She shouldn't have to. We don't want a project. Absolutely not. Boys cannot handle stepping up to the plate. Women, they don't need a project. We don't need a project because we are our own project. I want someone who can actually like carry me through and provide enough value that I can like turn my brain off. Like, that is what I want. So the shift from boy to man, big difference, big difference. Have dated both, have experienced both. Trust me, men are better.
So a guy in the comments said, "You're single, aren't you?" Yes, sir. Someone else says, it's not intimidation. I'm not intimidated or jealous by any human on earth. Strong men don't need masculine, combative woman, aka Miss Independent. If you want to be a leader and in charge, find a beta male, or fall in line and be submissive to the man you actually want. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Modern women get out here, talk crazy, and then they wonder why they're still single.
So what prompted me to start looking into this topic was the movie Rocky, because my husband said to me that movie is very romantic and he thought that I would like it. And I had never seen it, and I watched it, and I was like, when I finished the movie, I was like, what romance? There was nothing romantic about the movie. Literally, there's a relationship between Rocky and Adrian, but they don't show us anything about Adrian that would make Rocky fall in love with her. It's kind of just like, it's almost like when the movie starts, he's already in love with her, and he's just trying to convince her to like date him, and then, I don't know. But he doesn't even like take her out on any really nice dates or like romance her or anything. They just kind of like together. So I was like, this is not romantic at all. But then that prompted me to think about, what is romance to a woman in a movie versus to a man? To him, that was the most romantic part, was that Adrian stuck by Rocky. She was a ride or die. No matter how many people were trashing Rocky in the news, in the media, no matter how many people were clowning on him, how many people were doubting him, how he was literally no one before he started fighting, but she stuck by him through everything, through it all, and even through the later movies. Like, he was facing a lot of backlash, and he was like, not sure if he was ever gonna fight again, and they didn't have enough money. She still stuck through them. And to men, that is romantic. Now, to me, my idea of romance on film, when I thought about it, is hypergamy. A woman falls in love with a man who can do something for her. He gives her some kind of value. He adds value to her life, which honestly not a lot of modern romances display. We only see that really in fairy tales, in fairy tale arcs, other than like The Sound of Music and The Nanny. The woman's not really marrying up anymore. And that, I think that's because women today are so successful that it's kind of hard to marry up, because not as many men are more successful than women anymore, unless they're a billionaire, which is why so many romance novels have the trope of regular girl, working girl, falls in love with a billionaire, and he takes care of her. That's why 50 Shades of Grey was so popular. It is the modern equivalent of man gives value to a woman, elevating her life in exchange for a relationship and love and commitment. That is what romance is. And when I look at most of the chick flicks from the past 20, 30 years, they're not romantic. They're really not. They want us to think that it is romantic, but in some ways, well, they're not hypergamous, so that's really what I'm trying to say. The romance is completely different. It is more of an equal playing field romance, and sometimes the woman even has to make a sacrifice to be with the man. She has to settle for him. Andy in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I would even argue that when Harry Met Sally, she settled for him. He wasn't really the guy of her dreams, right? But that's debatable. The point is that what men and women find romantic is very different, and that's kind of obvious, but it really shows up on film. To men, romance is just unwavering support through whatever they're going through, and through their struggles, and through their ascension, most of all, because the male protagonist always ascends by the end of the movie. Even if he struggles along the way, he always ascends, and he wants the same woman there with him. That is romantic. And then to the woman, romance could be different things. It could be hypergamy, where he's giving value to her life and he's elevating her, or it could be gynocentrism. That's the word. It could be gynocentric, where the movie's all about her. She's already successful, she's already capable, she's already taken care of herself, she's already established as a woman, and he doesn't really add much value to her life other than just being a partner. It's more of like a partnership romance, and again, sometimes she has to settle for him. But she's willing to do that because she wants love. That is the thing that she's pining after. It's not just support and it's not just elevation from the man in hypergamy. She wants love and she's willing to do anything for love.
Women are never happy. They just aren't. You know, for the most part, it shows that they really don't get the concept of what true love actually is. They just want to be in a Disney fantasy. Some women, because I'm about to read a comment by a woman here that actually gets it. So she says, I mean, he loved Adrian. He never cheated on her. He stood up to Paulie, her abusive brother, and he wanted to fight that person in the car that pretty much called Adrian out of her name, basically. Okay. Rocky made her get out of her shell, and he brought her to the ice rink when it was closed. Thank you for giving examples. I actually really thought that Rocky was romantic, and I loved how he not only got Adrian out of her shell, but he only had eyes for her, which is what modern women want, okay? I know what it's like to hate your life, which is what it seemed to me that Adrian was suffering from. She wanted to escape her reality, and Rocky couldn't imagine his reality without her. A perfect balance. They also took the liberty of searching up some other stuff that I think she didn't even include in what she was talking about. I mean, we're acting like Rocky didn't have any money. The man fought and he made money, moved into a mansion at some point in time during the story, actually had expensive cars. Actually, I think his brother-in-law lost him all of their money, if I remember correctly. Paulie lost him all of their money. I don't know what love is. If you can take your wife's brother-in-law in and he loses your entire fortune, there's nothing more romantic than that. I mean, I did all the work. I was a punching bag for a lot of these fights, and all of that washed away. All that I worked for washed away. But I didn't send my wife out with him. I didn't do none of that. We had to take it on the chin, and I had to get out there and become a punching bag for people again. But we sit here and we continue to talk about how only women's idea of romance is the only correct one. And then when a man says, well, I feel like it's this way, can't we find something that's in the middle? All of a sudden it's a problem. And they wonder why men don't want to be involved in romance and love anymore.
I'm only going on coffee dates. You feel me? Like, unless we serious, we committed, that's my man, we building something. I'm only going on coffee dates and a maximum of 25 to 30 minutes at the coffee date, because dinner dates are actually very time consuming, and time is fucking money. A dinner date, it's gonna take me about 2 hours to get dressed, maybe 45 minutes to get to the restaurant. We're gonna be at the restaurant for 2 to 3 hours. You get to be seen in public with me like I'm your woman for that long? Oh no. Another 45 minutes to get home, nigga. I just pulled the whole part-time shift with your ass. Absolutely not. Coffee dates only. Coffee dates to me are high value dates. And you can still look cute, but you ain't gotta overdo it. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta be all super fancy or super sexy. You could just be nice, casual, chill, but still look pretty. Besides, a man don't need to see you looking all sexy and wearing your best clothes unless he's bringing something to your table. Good little 20 minutes, ask the right questions, you know what I'm saying? Peep game real quick and get the fuck on, go home.
I've said this numerous of times and it's always rang true. A lot of women today don't know how to date. And this is why they go through a revolving door of men after men after men, and then all niggas ain't shit. And I say that to say because I see the discussion around having a coffee date. And women saying, that's not for me, that's low effort, that's low this, low that, that's what you did. I don't care what y'all talking about. The lady that recently sparked that coffee date conversation, because these are discussions that's been had for a long time. She'd be lucky if anybody asked her for directions. She'd be lucky if anybody asked her for directions. But now you don't do coffee dates. Now, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying a lot of y'all don't know how to date. There's this romanticized idea of how much money he needs to spend, where he needs to take you, all these things to legitimize it as a date, opposed to looking at it as, okay, it's low pressure, you're safe, because most of the time it's during a coffee date would be during the daytime, low expectations. He can't expect nothing from you. You sure can't expect nothing from him. You're not committed to getting dressed and putting on your finest and doing all the things, the full theater that you would do if it's a dinner date. It's a nice icebreaker. It's simple, right? And through the coffee date, he could get to figure out if he like you. You could get to figure out if you like him, and it could go anywhere or it could go nowhere, right? Opposed to committing. How many times, ladies, the ones that are dating, how many times have you gone on a date with a man and realized quickly he's an idiot, but you already committed the outfit, you already committed the night, you already committed yourself to this date, so now you gotta go through it, and now you suffering through that shit. Like, let's be real. Like, I don't get it. I remember when I worked downtown Brooklyn when I lived in New York. And if you know downtown Brooklyn, you know there's the fire chief department over there. There's City College. There's all the courts. There's a Chase head office over there. There's Con Edison. There's all types of, you know, major companies that is there. So you could be walking to the halal spot to get a gyro or something, and you talking to a judge, or you talking to a lawyer, or you talking to a doctor, because there's a bunch of medical centers down there too. This person is in charge of the NICU or something. Like, you never know. And I've seen people on cute, you know, coffee date, whether it's at Panera Bread or wherever. And I don't know, because I know because of the environment, she's probably making good money and he's probably making good money. Both of these people are on a coffee date, whether it's during their lunch break or after work. Like, once again, I'm seeing single women telling other single women not to take coffee dates, and men cosplaying as women telling other single women not to take coffee dates. This shit is, I'm so glad I'm not in this dating pool. I'm so glad I'm out of this. And strategically, I've always dated with a purpose. I wasn't in the pool very long anyway, but to say no to a coffee date, especially if you can gauge the pedigree of the man, whew.
You know, sometimes these married women, their dating advice is terrible. It's terrible. It's still terrible. And you might be like, how is that possible? Because they don't even think about it. They don't. Sometimes, you know, married women, they be married. And so when you ask them, hey, how'd you do this or how'd you get that? They're not even really thinking about how they got it. They're thinking, oh, well, it just happened, and, you know, and here we are years later. It'll take the man coming in and saying, no, we were over here, and, you know, you remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Right? So it's taking a man to come in and jog their memory about what actually happened, so they can say, oh, yeah, so this is what I did, and he said this, and I did that, and I responded, and we did all this other stuff, to give the person the real, to give them the 411 on how they got together. If you give them the real or the 411 on how y'all got together, then they can start making, hopefully, some sort of plan to say, okay, if this is what they're doing, I'm gonna try this too and see if I can get me a man. But all this, don't accept that, don't do this, as if the man is disrespecting you, is crazy work.
I'm not really into coffee.
This is the thing that a lot of people are missing in the coffee date debacle situation, because every year and a half this becomes a topic, and every year and a half it highlights that women not only don't know what standards are, but they certainly don't know how to enforce them. You can't make a man spend anything on you that he never intended to spend. Women need to put more energy into developing the skill set of discernment, rather than looking for details and putting their value or how much a man value you based off what he spends. Men deserve to protect their wallets. They don't have to spend $150, $200, which is not that much, right? A regular date at a regular restaurant for two people will easily run you $150. He does not have to spend that on someone that he does not know. Your value is based on you. It's not based on another person. And you really can't trick men into spending money that they don't want to spend. Or they'll spend the money just to play in your face later. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no checklist of things you can guarantee to get the results that you want, which is why the majority of women with standards are single.
Your standards should not even be spoken. Women should not even be on the internet speaking about these things, but it's very clear so many women have not been taught what it is to have standards and set and enforce boundaries that y'all need people to talk about this. The problem is when you open your mouth and tell people what your standards are, you give them the room to use your words against you, to manipulate you and to lie to you, instead of allowing men to present themselves the best they can, right? When you first meet somebody, that is the best you're gonna get. And of course, it depends on the conversations that you've been having with him previously. If this is a man that have been relentlessly pursuing you, yes, I don't expect him to ask you on a coffee date. If this is a man you just met in the grocery store and y'all just exchanged numbers or social media, I think a coffee date is appropriate. You will easily be able to tell how much a man do or don't value by his next move. Setting a standard is simply saying no and walking away, just like the ladies did in her video. It should never even be up for discussion, giving away your body or even investing emotionally into someone. Women that feel some type of way about that feel some type of way because they emotionally invested in people and created a whole storyline of where this relationship was headed, and then they were disappointed. You can't make a man do anything, and men deserve to protect their finances. They don't have to invest in women that they don't know. And it really heavily, it's so many details that are left out, because at the end of the day, nobody can tell you what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what's acceptable and not acceptable. Nobody can tell you that. And because so many women are misinformed, women don't know that. So they look for surface level details in order to determine how a man values them. It doesn't matter how a man values you. It matters how you value yourself. A man that want to offer you a coffee date or a walk in the park date is going to do so. If he does not value, if he's trying to get as much as he can for little as possible, he's going to be talking about intercourse. He's going to be being inappropriate. He's not going to plan a date. A man that have good intentions for you and want to get to know you in a lower maintenance date, he could be the man of your dreams and you won't know because Shira told you not to accept a coffee date. Shira also told y'all to date old men, but you don't want to listen to that. And no, you should not be accepting coffee dates from old men, because I imagine if you're dating an old man, it's not because you actually want him. So you have to understand what it is you want, what your goals are, and what your intentions are. And nobody online can tell you how to do that.
Okay, now that the TL is a little quiet about this, I just wanted to say, you know, when it comes to dating and standards like that, obviously keep them as high as possible. But the one thing I don't agree on that I've seen people talk about on here recently is the whole coffee date stuff, because genuinely, I think you bring the energy, right? So no matter if you're at Starbucks, if you're at wherever you go out to eat, I don't know, brunch, whatever. And honestly, in a practical way, like getting drinks and getting coffee is kind of the same thing, but that's besides the point. I think, again, you are, the way that you step in, the way that you talk, the way that you hold your head up or look down when you're walking, all that stuff people pick up on, at least I do. So if you have the energy of someone that is insecure or someone that is not confident, I feel like that will come through in the way that you act, and it will be seen and felt very easily. And so I think, again, it doesn't matter if you're going to get coffee, it doesn't matter if you're going to get brunch, it doesn't matter if you're going to get dinner. You bring the energy, and that sets the precedent for how someone treats you. And so, yeah, and I'm thinking about this too, because when I met, you know, my lover, we went out to eat first, obviously, but every subsequent thing after that, he was like afraid to do things. You know, he was very cautiously like moving along, and like the way that he was courting me and stuff like that. So yeah, I also just think this is part of the issue now, is that a lot of people project onto things, like someone taking me or suggesting that we get coffee is them saying that they value me less, or they think I'm only worth a coffee date. But to be honest, I feel like you're projecting that onto the situation yourself. being taken somewhere that you deem more expensive does not equate to being treated better. So someone could take you somewhere very nice and still treat you like shit. Like it's not a rational thought to me, and that kind of stuff. So remember, you bring the energy for how you're going to be treated, how you want to be treated.
Everybody's talking about this whole coffee date situation, so I thought I would add my 2 cents as someone who is dating, who loves coffee shops, but I really hate coffee dates unless I make an exception. And I have made a few exceptions, and I'll get to that at the end. But I'm gonna tell y'all my top reasons why you shouldn't go on coffee dates. The first thing people try to tell you to convince you to go on a coffee date is that it's faster than spending 3 hours at dinner or something like that. It's not faster, it's just cheaper. And that just is what it is. Like, it's not faster, because I went on a coffee date maybe like earlier this year, and we was at the coffee shop talking for 3 hours. This was not faster than a dinner. Now, yes, we ended up having lunch, which is an exception, okay? We had lunch while we were there. It was very cute. It was one of my favorite coffee shops in LA, but it wasn't faster. So if you think you're gonna get some sort of speed dating experience, you're not. So you might as well have taken me to dinner. Reason number 2 why I don't like coffee shop dates is because somebody's gonna have to poop after 15 or 20 minutes. I don't wanna go to the bathroom and my date know that I just came from busting it wide open. Like, embarrassing. Number 3, I have told guys I don't do coffee dates because I like to look sexy on dates. And I'm not gonna look sexy at a coffee shop. So, do you want to see me look sexy, or do you want to see me in my workout clothes? Because I'm not coming to a coffee shop date dressed up, point blank period. And I like to dress up when I go on dates. I like a little vibe, a little aesthetic. You're not going to get that on a coffee date, okay? With that being said, I'm not a hard and fast rules type of girl. So I actually went on a coffee date while I was traveling, because me and the guy, we went on an actual date the night before, and then the day after he was like, can I just get a little bit of your time? Can we meet for coffee in the morning? And I was like, period. I love a little time grab. I love a little time crunch moment. And yeah, went on a coffee date and I had a lot of fun. We had our laptops out. But also, I really love coffee shops. Like, I love new coffee shops and exploring like different ones around the city or whatever city I'm in. So yeah, I think if I had a boyfriend, if I had a man, we would definitely do coffee dates because I love coffee shops. But as far as somebody who's trying to get to know me, let's keep it after dark. Oh, and one last thing. If you're a single parent, then you can do coffee shop dates during the day while your kid is at school, and you don't have to hire a sitter. That's another plus, but...
I feel like well, I want to go back to the woman that was saying, y'all are allowing men to put a dollar value on who you are. And this is what men have been saying for a long, long time. If you just go to the coffee date, instead of just trying to guess, instead of trying to put superficial feelers out there, you'll be able to see, or you should be able to see, listen, hear, look at what the man is talking about, and then make a judgment from there. But because y'all think y'all are too good for that coffee date or that ice cream date or that walk, and I understand safety and things of that nature, so I understand maybe you don't want to go on a hike with somebody that you just met. Men understand these things. But asking you to coffee, asking you to, hey man, come on and get a drink with me. Oh, I only do dinner. Why are we jockeying for position? Why are we trying to do a power grab at the beginning of the relationship when we don't even know each other? Why are we doing that?